So I'm really happy to be with you again today to talk about the second universal promise of leadership, which is around engaging all the stakeholders and then holding them accountable for performance. So really engagement of your team is about time, giving them time and spending the time getting to know them and understanding really what's important to them for their life and for their work. And so to me, that just takes asking questions, listening, sensing, feeling, all the things that go into experience of really understanding who someone is. And then once you get that, then your job, my job as a leader, is to become a developer where we recognize the gifts and talents that that person has, and then together with that person, we figure out the best role for them and our vision, and then how that really fits them and where they can contribute most. A great example of that is my assistant Christy, who's one of the best listeners that I know. So much so that Christy will actually feel what somebody else is feeling when they're communicating with her. Along with that, I have discovered over time that Christy's highest value, or one of them, is justice and fairness. So she's often the conscious of our practice. If we start to leave our values and something's happening that just doesn't feel right, Christy lets us know. And that doesn't sound really exciting or glamorous, but I can't tell you how valuable that is. And that's just one small example of where someone's gifts and talents really come to the forefront. Really taking this approach is about discovering the inherent potential of each individual and bringing their discretionary energy out. The difference between compliance and commitment is right there. In a practice that's transactional, that's purely focused on compliance and jobs and rules and regulations, never gets to what's possible for that person. Their inherent potential stays inside them, and that discretionary energy never comes out. But once you engage someone's heart and mind in what you're doing and where you want to go, and they buy in, then you get to be, the organization gets to be the benefactor of all that's inside them, all their creativity, again, their inherent potential and discretionary energy. And that is enormous. Leaders are liberators. And part of what needs liberating is liberating the best that someone has to offer, so that in this journey they become the best version of themselves, their aspirational identity. And as all of you know, because you are leaders, it starts with you and I. So the person that most needs liberation is you and I, in our patterns of thought, in our assumptions, in how we approach things. And also we have to be the person who is most accountable and holds ourselves accountable. When you give your team member permission, in fact, more than permission, when you ask them to hold you accountable, that if your behavior or your actions or your words become inconsistent with what you said or your most deeply held values and beliefs, when you start acting in a way that is a distraction away from the vision, and they can see that, and they have the permission or the encouragement or the request to call you out, you've just given power to your team that they can't get any other way, and it ignites a fire. The best teams, the most powerful teams, have that permission. They're taking their gifts and talents, they're being magnified, their discretionary energy is coming into play, and that's why they go places. There's no substitute for that. And that's why I think this second universal promise of leadership is just so powerful in your development as a leader and in building a culture that will take you to where you want to be. Thanks for the time. I look forward to our next session.